So welcome to all RPs and the teachers who are joined for the Shikshana Sambrama. So it's good many of you are joining. Welcome to all. So ಇದು ಈ ವರ್ಷದ ಈ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಇಯರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊನೆಯ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ತಿಂಗಳು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ SA2 ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ LOs ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಈ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅನ್ನ ಆ ಒಂದು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ವಿತ್ SA2. ಈ ಕೊನೆಯ ಈ ತಿಂಗಳಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವಂತಹ ನ್ಯಾಸ್ ಕಲಿಕಾ ಫಲವನ್ನ ಆಧರಿಸಿ ನಾವು ತಗೊಂತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರನ್ನ ಡಯಟ್ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಮತ್ತು ವೈಯಕ್ತಿಕವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನ ಕೋರುತ್ತಾ, ಸೊ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಓವರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟು ದ CWC ಟೀಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಖಂಡಿತ ಎಂಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ತಗೊಂತೀನಿ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಏನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಏನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುವಂಥದ್ದು ಏನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಖಂಡಿತ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಸೊ ನಾವು ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಓವರ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟು ದ CWC ಟೀಮ್.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Good afternoon, all teachers. We welcome you again to the January month module of Shikshana Samrama English Experiential Activities Part 6 module. Before we begin today's module, let's have a look at all the goals and outcomes and objectives that we are aiming for this month's module. So as we all know, the goals of Shikshana Samrama have always been to understand the experiential teaching and learning methodology and how we can do that in our classrooms, especially when it comes to teaching English. We are also here to explore experiential activities to attain the learning outcomes for this specific month for the grades of 4, 5, 6, and 7. And again, as always, and as all the modules of Shikshana Samrama has always aimed at, we will also be catering to, or we will also be addressing the NAS learning outcomes, the National Achievement Survey learning outcomes, and see how we can achieve those learning outcomes through the experiential activities for this month. Some specific outcomes for this webinar would be exploring experiential activities to teach concepts in the categories of prose, poetry, and grammar. We will also practice and discuss concepts and strategies to improve our English proficiency and help the learners improve their English proficiency. Let us have a look at what the National Achievement Survey outcome is and how we'll be addressing that. So the NAS learning outcome says read small texts with comprehension, identifies main ideas, details, sequence of those ideas, and draws conclusions through the text. We are trying to address all the activities and these learning outcomes and skills through the 3 categories that we have always been dealing with, which is grammar, prose, and poetry. Under grammar for this month, we have how to use dictionary. We'll also look into the concept of WH questions, followed by sentence formation. Under prose, we are going to look at some speaking activities and the skill of sequencing a story. Under poetry, we are looking at how the students can identify emotions in a given text or any sentence. Hey Janagube, I have been searching for new ways to teach different concepts in the classroom. Can you help me?
Hey Chimpu, sure. What concepts do you need help with?
Well, this month I am dealing with a variety of topics in my classroom. I have WH questions, usage of dictionary, comprehension, and poetry recitation also.
Interesting topics, Chimpu. What seems to be the problem?
I have noticed that my students' interests are at different levels and they are at different learning abilities. How can I teach in a way that helps all of them?
I got it. You want to learn how to teach these topics in your classroom in a way that suits learners with multiple abilities and interests. Correct?
Absolutely, yes. How can I do it? There are so many topics, though.
Don't worry, we can talk about many activities and many methods in the time you have. Let's go. We'll start with grammar.
Let's start with WH questions then. How do I introduce them to my learners?
Well, we can learn them by singing the WH song. But first, let us recall the WH questions. What, why, where, when, and which.
So, Janagube, this wonderful song taught me a bunch of WH questions like who, what, where, when, why, and which. So I know now that when someone is asking a who question to me, they are looking for an information about the person. When someone is asking what, they are asking about a thing or an action. When someone is asking about when, they are asking about a time. And when they are asking where, they are asking about a place. When they are asking why, they are asking for a reason for an action or an event. And when they are asking which, they are asking for a specific characteristic of person, place, or animal or a thing. Correct?
Yes. Now that we know the WH questions, let us see how we can use them to get information. We will start the first activity with an image. So this image, we will learn about who questions. So can we observe this image and then come up with a few who questions?
There is a lot of things happening in this image. I can see many people and doing many things. I can see a person selling some flowers. So I can create a question like, who is selling flowers? Am I right, Jana Gube?
Yes, you are.
Teachers, can you all also help me in creating more WH questions like this? Let us ask who questions by looking at this image that you see on your screens. Please go to the chat section and type your who questions and send it across so that we all can read them. Jana Gube, we are already getting so many questions, Jana Gube. I think this is a wonderful song that Veena ma'am says to our classrooms. I am who going is to riding bicycle, make my students sing this song. Vedavati ma'am says, why don't you do who the same? Are they? Wonderful questions.
Sure.
Who is riding bicycle? Who is holding please the child's hand? Let your students enjoy this song. Observation, ma'am. Sing and dance to this. Who is sitting in the basket? And where are the girls going? Happy to see videos that you might send of your holding the little boy's hand and singing this song. Wonderful. Who who is wearing a sari? Very nice. Who are you? Okay, interesting question. Who is standing near the van? Good observation, Savita ma'am. Wonderful. Jana Gube, do you think all the who questions are correct?
Yes, they all were brilliant questions.
Thank you, teachers. So, Jana Gube, here are the questions that I was able to come up with. The questions are like, who is near the shop selling things? Who is talking to the boy in orange kurta? And who is the small boy walking with?
Okay, those are good questions too, Chimpu. Let's move to the next question, WH word, which is which. Here, looking at this, okay, Chimpu, looking at this image, what questions can you come up with?
Teachers, this question is for me. So I think this is easy. Let me answer to this directly. I can come up with questions like, which butterfly do you like? Which color is the largest butterfly? Which of the butterflies are red? Which of the butterflies are small? And which butterflies are the farthest?
Wow, Chimpu, you are really catching on. Those are very good questions.
Thank you, Janagube.
All right, now let's look at the question word when. With this image, the teachers, dear teachers, please send us the question words using the question word when for this particular image.
Teachers, once again, let's look at the image. Try to form WH question words using the question word when. Create when questions and share in the chat box this time. When will you read? Says Anita ma'am. When were children doing their homework? Wonderful. When do you study? When do you get up? When do you play? When do you read? When did students get the dictionary? Wonderful question, ma'am. When do they use the toys? Wonderful question, sir. When do you complete your homework? Very nice. When did you take the pic? Wonderful question. Awesome. Good job, teachers. I think there were some good questions coming out by using the question word when. Janagube, shall we go to the next question word?
Yes. Our next question word is where. Now, looking at this image, why don't you try making some questions, Chimpu?
Sure, Janagube. I can see a boy on a pencil and I can see letters and a sun. Okay, let me come up with these questions. Where is the place? Where is the boy flying to? Where are the letters going? Where is the pencil going? Where is the sun? And of course, the boy sitting on the pencil. Where is the boy? How are my questions, Janagube?
The questions are really good, Chimpu. I think you're learning them really fast. Okay, now let's look at the next question word, which is what. Looking at this image, teachers, would you like to frame your own questions and send it to us in the chat box?
This time, we are looking at this image and sending what questions? What is the picture about? Says Sabiha Banu ma'am. Wonderful question. What are they looking at? Yes, Shailaja ma'am. What happened there? Says Mamta ma'am. What is the color of the giraffe? Good observation, Reshma ma'am. What are the animals in this picture? Says Vedavati ma'am. Good question there. Come on, teachers. I request other teachers to also type their questions and send in the chat box. Shobha ma'am says, what are the dogs doing there? I wonder where the dogs are in this picture. What is she holding in her hand? Says Savita ma'am. Good question, ma'am. What is the message of this picture? Says Mamta ma'am. Wonderful. Jana Gube, are you happy with those questions?
Yes, those are really good questions. Let's look at what you have, Chimpu.
I have questions like, what is the woman holding in her hand? Just like Mamta ma'am's question. What are the people wearing around their neck? What are the meerkats standing on? What is behind the tribal people? What is everyone in the picture doing? Are my questions that I was able to come up with.
All right, that sounds good too. Let's move on to the next question word, which is why. Looking at this image, what questions can you think of, Chimpu?
I can think of questions like, why are the men making a cake? Why is he using those tools on the cake? Why are there two lines on the cake? And why are there three men on the cake?
Wow, Chimpu, you are really able to find beautiful questions for this image.
Jana Gobe, now that we have covered questions, how do we get the learners to form their own answers?
Let me think. We could use image strips.
Image strips? What are they?
So, in the image strip activity, we will have two images given to you for a WH question, along with the answer in words. So, reading the WH question, you need to choose which is the right answer. For example, in this image, you see a boy and a girl. So, you have to answer the question, who is that boy? When you ask the question, who is that boy? The answer would be, that boy is my brother.
Wonderful. Um, Let us see if you can. Okay, I'm ready for an exercise now. Ask me question and I'll try to answer to it. Apologies for having some network issues on our side.
Okay, Chimpu, let's go for the first question. When do you go to school? I go to school in the morning or I go to school in the night.
Um, Looking at the two pictures, I can say I will give the answer as I go to the school in the morning. Is that right, Janagobe?
Yes, absolutely. That is the right answer. How about the question, what is on the table?
Um, I'm trying to look at both the images. The options say the books are on the table and the bag is on the table. The correct answer should be the bag is on the table because the question says what is on the table. And because the other table has more than one object, the question should have been what are on the tables. Am I right, Janagobi?
Yes, Chimpu, you sure got that right. Why do you go to school?
I can see a girl studying. I can see another image with a boy swimming. I would say the answer should be I go to the school to study. Is that right, Janagobe?
Yes, Chimpu. Yes, that is right. Where do you buy meat? Which is the answer, Chimpu?
I can see a meat shop and I can see a florist selling flowers. I would say I buy meat at the butcher shop.
Yes, that is the right answer, Chimpu.
Wonderful questions and wonderful activity, Janagobe. And now that we have familiarized ourselves with questions and answers, what would be the next step?
We have to put them in context. So, teachers, you can take images from the text and use the WH questions to help the learners answer the questions to understand the text better. For example, you have a picture here from Bravery Awards. Here they're asking questions who, why, where, what, and which. Okay, now we're looking at grade 4, a brave soul.
Nice. So when I show this image to my students will be able to come up with questions like who is sleeping on the cot? Why did she get hurt? Where did she get hurt? Or which vehicle was she on when she got hurt? Right?
Yes, Chimpu, that's absolutely right. That's from the text. Children of Courage Bravery Award grade 5 text. This is the image that we saw, for which the questions are: who is the boy in the picture? What attacked him? Or something like, which weapon did the boy use? Now let's look at grade 6, a letter from Obama to his daughter. Some of the questions that you can use are: who is the man in the picture? What are you doing in the picture? Where is Obama going?
Nice. Let me try this image, Jana Gobe. This is an image that I can see from a grade 7 chapter that is one of my favorites. I can look at this image and try to come up with questions like who is sitting on the sofa? When did the family sit together? What was the family talking about? Why have they gathered? Where are they seated? Which program are they watching on the television?
Yes, yes, Chimpu. Those are really good questions for that lesson.
I think I can do the exact same activity even with my learners, and I think they will have wonderful time looking at the pictures in their own textbook but coming up with their own answers. Well, Jana Gobe, I would like my learners to also construct their own sentences. Can we do that?
We could try sentence sticks that help the learner put together a sentence. So sentence sticks are used when we write parts of speech on them like nouns, verbs, subjects, and shuffle them and give it to the learner to categorize on categorize in different containers that are labeled as either verb, noun, or objects. Once the once the learner does this, once the learner does this, he is then asked to form sentences, simple sentences that make up the from the summary of the story that they are looking at. So in this case, the sentence made is pink ball falls slowly. So for the lower levels, we use nouns, objects, and verbs, whereas the higher grades, you can include all parts of speech. The sentence structure that you can use is noun, verb, noun. The example as goes here is there are 3 sticks with the words home, Ram, and goes. When these are put in order by the child, they go as Ram goes home. Okay, you can also do this by giving the learners fill in the blanks. So you can give simple sentences with blanks which the child can fill in as they are reading the sentence.
Yes. And I think because this is a simple structure of noun, verb, and noun, uh, teachers or the students will be able to play around by either identifying a noun or a verb based on the blank.
Yes, that is right. Now, for higher grades, you can use many more parts of speech. You can include adjective, adverb, along with the noun and the verb. So, looking at a longer sentence, if we have the words the, dog, cat, and chases, it will then form the sentence the dog chases the cat.
Hmm. Can I use this activity to help learners write summaries too?
Oh, yes. So, here you can pick out the main sentences from the text. Here we are using the painting story from Akbar and Birbal. So we use the sentences from that text and which will summarize into
Birbal, Birbal, make me a painting. Use your imagination in it. Next day, Birbal came to the court. He had a covered frame with him. It showed just green grass and the sky. Huzur, it is a cow eating grass, replied Birbal. Where is the cow? Asked Akbar. Huzur, I have used my imagination.
so from these sentences, if the learner picks out words which they will categorize into pronouns, nouns, articles, verbs, depending on what is used in the sentence, and they categorize it in the respective cups. When they put the sentence back together, it'll read Birbal, make me a painting. So you can similarly construct sentences for all the sentences that you identified that makes up for the summary of the lesson.
I can add another idea to this. To introduce learners, we can also introduce the learners to unfamiliar parts of speech as well and teach them components of sentences like pronouns. In this case, it was Akbar and Birbal, where we can use the pronouns he, it for painting, followed by verbs, more verbs like create, ask, came, covered, revealed, explained, and even objects like painting, imagination, artist, court, frame, and even articles like a, an, and the.
All right, so using these different components, we can make comprehensive summaries of the passages in the text and keep building on it.
How about a game to learn questions and answers?
I have the right one for you, a dice game. So, in a dice game, we need to create a dice which has the WH question on each face of the dice. When you roll the dice, you will see that you will be able to read one of the WH questions, and the child can be asked to answer that particular question. This can be done, like, for example, when they see when, they can use the question, when did you think of riding a bicycle? Similarly, we can also use it for the text that we have. For a question, we can use a question like, when did Obama feel that everything was about him?
What a resource can I provide to my learners with that will make them independent learners?
Without a moment of hesitation, I'd say dictionary.
Can you tell me how to use a dictionary? My learners need to understand how to use the dictionary. Can you help me with that?
Yes, indeed. Any good language learner must understand how to use the dictionary correctly.
Absolutely. However, how do you think I can instruct them to use it the right way?
Not to worry, Chimpu. I have a video that explains how that is done.
Hello everybody, I am Miss Gube. I know you all think I'm the wise old owl now, but there was a time when I was a little girl and didn't know a lot of things. There was one particular book of words called the dictionary that helped me find anything I did not know. I would like for you to see it. Let me take you back in time and show you how it helped me when I was in school.
Hi everyone, I'm Putta Gube and I'm returning from school. I have some homework to do. The teacher has asked me to write a few sentences on my adventures in the jungle. But I don't know what to write because I do not know the meaning of the words adventure and jungle. Let me call my best friend Ladybird and ask if she can help me. I need your help, Ladybird.
I'll be there, Putta.
So glad you came, Ladybird. I could really use your help in my homework. Can you tell me the meaning of the words adventure and jungle, please?
I would love to, my dear, but I won't always be around to help you with word meanings. So, here is a gift that you will find useful.
Really? How?
Would you want to use a dictionary?
A dictionary? What is that?
Oh, that is a treasure.
What is a treasure?
Something that has high value. Come along. Let me take you on a treasure hunt of words.
But there are so many words here. How do I find one?
We'll use the help of the alphabet. Follow me. Let's say the alphabets.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y,
and Z. Good job, Putta. To use a dictionary, you need to know the order of the letters in the alphabet. Now that you know it, let's begin. Let's find out the meaning of the word adventure.
Yes, yes. What's my first step?
We will need to find a page that lists the words that start with A. In the dictionary, words are arranged in alphabetical order, just like the letters of the alphabet. This makes it easy for us to find words quickly.
Okay, let me try then. A is the first letter of the alphabet.
Yes, good. So words listed with A will be at the beginning of the dictionary.
Ah, that's quite simple.
Let's look at the words listed under A.
There are so many words that start with the letter A. How do I find the word adventure?
Continue to follow the alphabetical order. Now, within the A section, the words are further arranged alphabetically. What is the second letter of the word adventure?
D. D comes after the letter C and before the letter E.
Excellent. So, we need to look for words beginning with the letters A, D. It should be after words beginning with the letter AC and before words beginning with AE. Let's look.
Guess that is the second step. Let's see. I've just crossed words like absorb and accept. Words beginning with AD should be close by. Oh, here it is.
Now, if we want to find the word adventure among the words starting with AD, we need to...
I think I know this one. The next letter of the word also follows the alphabetical order. Since V comes after U and before W, the word adventure should come after words that start with ADU, like adult, and before words that start with ADW, like adware.
Good work, Buddha. That's absolutely correct.
I found it! I found the word adventure!
Amazing! Now let's find out how to find the meaning of the word. Here is the word meaning of the new word you were looking for.
But there is more than one meaning, lady word.
Yes, there are always many meanings to one word.
Wow! So I can find all of them in one place now? That is amazing!
And there is also an extra information for you here below the word meanings.
Does ADJ mean that the word adventuresome is an adjective?
You're right about that. Yes, the dictionary gives you different parts of speech like adjectives, adverbs, and nouns of the new words you are looking for.
Wow! I learned a new English word today. Yippee! Yippee! I know what adventure means now.
Of course you do. Would you like to try finding the meaning of your next word now?
Yes, yes. I would like to do it myself this time.
Sure, dear.
I want to look for the word jungle now.
Follow the alphabet order.
H, I, J.
Now to the second letter.
So, here is J. So, I'll find jungle here.
Now to the second letter.
The second letter is U. So, that comes after words that must start with JT and JV. Correct? There it is. I get it now. So, jungle is nothing but a forest. And there is an example sentence here too. Silly me, I did not know that at all until now. Now I know what my teacher wanted me to write in the homework book. I will now write about all the amazing adventures I have in the jungle every day. Thank you for introducing me to the dictionary, Ladybird. I love it.
Oh, you're most welcome, my dearest Buddha. enjoy using it to find the meanings of new words you come across every day.
And that is the story of how I slowly started learning new words and becoming the wise old Miss Janagube. Yes, you can find dictionaries on your mobile phones nowadays too.
Funny or rare, big or small, find them all, stand tall with the dictionary call. It's time.
Janagube, the video about the dictionary and how to use it was wonderful. It will help my learners get acquainted with the dictionary and its parts. This will help them to use this resource whenever they need as well.
Yes. And let me add one more activity. Let's go on a dictionary hunt.
What is this dictionary hunt, Janagube?
So, in the dictionary hunt, the teachers will place pieces of paper or chart paper around the room which have abbreviations from the dictionary. The student is given a chit which has a word, and they will have to look through a dictionary and find that particular abbreviation from the book. So that way, they will be familiarizing themselves with not only the symbols used in the dictionary, but also how to use the dictionary itself. So, some of the things that they can ask the student to do is to find the meaning, parts of speech, pronunciation, key.
That activity is an awesome idea. Give me another game idea, please.
I can think of one. It's called matching cards. Similar to the previous activity, we will write out two cards with the same abbreviation or word or any part of the dictionary. So that the student will have to turn the card over to find its match. So when the student has found a match for all the cards in front of them, they will be able to finish the activity.
Those were really great grammar activities, Janagube. I didn't realize that experiential activities can also be so low cost and almost no cost.
Thank you, Chimpu.
Can we also do these type of activities to teach learning outcomes that involve student comprehension?
Absolutely. Let's move on to prose and see how.
Many learning outcomes for this month involve comprehension. For example, critical thinking, comparing events, characters, theme of the story, etc., are learning outcomes that are integral to grade 4, 5, 6, and 7 that I teach in my school, Janagube.
Well, comprehension is an important part of language, as is listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Without comprehension, learners won't be able to reproduce these skills sensibly.
That's true. But how can I ensure that my learners can comprehend a story well?
Well, we can aid learners' comprehension through different techniques in the classroom. Have you heard about arts integration?
What is that?
Arts integration is a language learning that involves incorporating different forms of art like visual art, music, theater, and dance into the learning experience. This approach not only makes language learning more engaging, but also promotes creativity, critical thinking, and a deeper understanding of linguistic concepts.
Language learning is not just about memorizing vocabulary and grammar rules. It's about how learners apply language to comprehend different ideas, concepts, and emotions. This is a marker of success in language acquisition and an increase in language proficiency in a learner. That is why it is important we work on enhancing learners' comprehension of language while we introduce them to rules and syntaxes in the language. One of the many ways we can aid comprehension in language learning is through arts integration. What do I mean when I say this? The word arts in arts integration is an activity that involves the use of imaginations, skill, and creativity to produce work that stimulates the senses and brings out emotions. This can be visual arts like drawing and painting, performing arts like drama and music, or literary arts like storytelling, creative writing, and poetry. Even digital art like photography and video production are part of arts integration activities. Now, let's look at an activity that uses craft to help learners learn the sequence of important events by creating a story sequencing bracelet.
Let's take the example of Children of Courage Bravery Awards from grade 5. Let's take the first story to create a story bracelet. What you need to do is pick out the main events of this story. Here we have 4 main events of Harish Chandra's story. Number 1. Jawaharlal Nehru was watching a performance at Delhi's Ramleela grounds in the Red Fort. Second, a fire broke out in a shamiana through a short circuit. Third, Harish Chandra, a 14-year-old scout, quickly took out his knife and cut the burning shamiana. And 4. This act saved the lives of hundreds of trapped people. Once you pick out the main events of the story and you've sequenced it in order, decide the images that you want to use to represent each segment or each event. Here are some examples of images that we could use to represent these sequence of events. A fire, tent, a knife, an award, Nehruji, and so on.
Let's make a story bracelet. First, let's take all the materials required. 1 sheet of newspaper, a pencil, a pair of scissors, glue, thread about 10 inches, and strips of colored paper. First, let's draw the images. Before you draw the images, use a bottle cap to give you a circular outline. Now, give it a small head, like this. Now, let's draw the images we have used to represent segments of our text within this particular circle, like this. Once you have done this, cut around the circle and the head. Do this for every image. You should get a couple of images like this, with cutouts like so. Now, let's begin making the beads with the newspaper. To do this, cut the newspaper into triangular strips. They should look something like this. Now, take a pencil and begin rolling the strips of paper into beads like this. Once you come to the end of the strip, apply some glue to the last piece of the strip and fold the strip in. Now slowly try to remove the pencil from inside the bead. And now you have a bead. Like this, make many beads, about 7 to 8. Now, let's start creating the bracelet. Take the images that we have cut out and poke a hole at the head. Once you have poked holes large enough for threads to go in, arrange the images in order, that is, in the order of the sequence of the story. And now start assembling the bracelet. Take one end of the thread and insert a bead. Next, insert the first image. Use a pencil to help you get the thread through the hole. Excellent. Continue assembling the bracelet with another bead. And then the next image. Now place the length of the bracelet around your student's hands, and once it's done, cut off the ends of the thread.
When you do this activity in the classroom, you can ask the learners to come up with their own images for each of the important events in the story. Now, learners can use the different images or beads on the bracelet to recall different parts of the story. For example, Jawaharlal Nehru was watching a performance at Delhi's Ram Leela grounds in the Red Fort. A fire broke out in the Shamiana through a short circuit, and so on. You can also help learners summarize a text using the story bracelet by prompting them to write down what they recall as they move through the different images and beats.
Now, Jana Gube, you had promised me activities for grammar, prose, and poetry. We have looked at activities for grammar, prose, and poetry. Poetry is something that you are still to tell me some activities for. Can you tell me some activities to teach poetry? And what in poetry are you going to teach me this time?
Well, this time let's look at an example from Dear Grandma and Grandpa. This poem talks about the various emotions that we feel towards our grandparents. So the activity involves reciting the poem. We need to enable learners to be able to do that.
You mean we need to help the learners how to use expression in poetry? How can we do that?
We need to set up different stations, emotion stations, each representing an emotion like joy, sadness, excitement, etc. Ask students to rotate through the stations as you read out a poem and ask them to express different emotions at each station. Later, learners themselves will move through the stations and express emotions as they read the poem. To set up different stations in your classroom for each emotion using images as shown or words that the learners understand. For example, happy, sad, annoyed, or full of love. Now, begin reading the poem and instruct learners to move to different stations and express themselves. For example, when you read the line, "When we are with you, we always have fun," instruct them to move to the happy station and smile. When you read the line, "If we really need a hug or two," ask them to move to the sad station and show you a crying face. When you read the line, "We know that we can depend on you," ask them to move to the loving station and place their hands on each other's shoulder. Now, ask the learners to read the poem and move towards different stations and do the expressions themselves as they read.
So when we are with you, we always have fun. If we really need a hug or two, we know that we can depend on you.
Yes, those are the lines that the learners will use to move to different stations.
Whoa, Janagube. Those were some helpful tips and activities.
I'm looking forward to hearing how it worked out for you in your classroom.
Thank you. And thank you, dear teachers, for joining us today.
Yes, before you go, we have some information for you.
How do we use Teachopia? Here's how we can navigate through our app to find the various resources that we've been talking about throughout our module. If you'd like to access our grammar videos, here's how you can go about it. Download our Teachopia app and it will lead you to our home page. There are 3 icons at the bottom of the page. Click the Content button. The Content button has 2 sections or divisions, the curricular content and other content. To access our grammar videos, you will need to press the Other Content section. There are various subheadings under the Other Content section. The first subheading reads English Skills Building Activities. Scrolling through that, you will be led through a number of icons, the last of which is an English grammar icon, which is in the color blue. Once you click on that, you will be led to the page that has various sets of our grammar videos, all of which can be used for your preparation of these topics or for classroom transactions. We leave that to you. Now, how do we access our Prose resources? Here's how. You need to go to our homepage again, click on the Content button, but stay on the Curricular Content page. Choose the grade of your choice and the subject of your preference. In this case, it's English, of course. Under each grade, you will have all the chapters that have been scheduled for a particular year. Choosing a chapter of your choice, you will be led to the lesson plans that are available in various chunks and to the explainer videos under which prose narration is available for you. The same path can be used for poetry. Homepage, content, curricular content, the grade of your choice, and selecting English would lead you again to the various chapters. This time, clicking on poems, you will be led to audiovisual resources as an extra icon under which there is a poem intonation activity, the one that you all are familiar with. You could use that. And under explainer videos, you will have the recitation of this particular poem. Hope you all enjoy accessing and utilizing these available resources.
Thank you for joining us, teachers. Hope you all had an enriching learning experience.
See you later.